There's this constant soundtrack, parting cane field, pickaxes lifting, swinging machetes, tractor wheels turning, and even revolving sprinklers. Now, while many of us from different parts of the island move to that said soundtrack, it's all in perfect evenness with the movements of our agriculture ministry. Well, today's magazine is in sync with that melody. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome to your Jamaica Magazine. Move with us from cover to cover and come experience a world-class agriculture industry. See what Alex is up to and how you can eat after you reap. Stay with us.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, January 15. Government is reporting that over 90% of the Jamaican population has supported the ban on plastics. The ban was introduced in phases starting January 1, 2019. It targets single-use plastic bags and plastic drinking straws. Since January 1, 2020, the policy has now moved to Phase 2, which targets expanded polystyrene or styrofoam used in the food and beverage industry. In Parliament Tuesday, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Darrell Vaz, said he expected a smooth transition from polystyrene to other alternatives. He also expressed satisfaction with the results of the ban on plastics.
Since the ban, the country has witnessed a pronounced reduction of plastics in terrestrial and marine environment. We have observed significant behavior and attitude change with regard to the banned items, and Jamaican calling for the banning of more items such as plastic utensils, Pampers, and other plastic food containers. Mr. Speaker, there are several business opportunities for large corporations, and MSMEs have also blossomed from this initiative, with business being developed to specialize in the alternatives.
Minister Vaz says work on the third phase of the plastic ban, which will include the recycling of PET bottles and a deposit refund scheme, is in progress. He says Recycling Partners of Jamaica, RPJ, has been collecting PET bottles for recycling. RPJ is a joint venture between the government and the private sector. 360 schools and 120 independent depots have been used to collect bottles. 6 additional mini-depot sites are to be opened in the Kingston metropolitan area and central Jamaica. Still on plastics, 36 businesses have been prosecuted for breaching the ban. Minister Darrell Vaz says 6 of the companies have been fined, while another 30 are now before the courts.
Warning notices have also been issued to non-compliant persons and companies before enforcement action was taken. Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, the government will be taking strong enforcement action against those persons and companies that do not comply with the ban.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has given assurance that there is no shortage of the flu vaccine within the public healthcare system. In a statement to Parliament Tuesday, Minister Tufton said 25,400 doses of the trivalent influenza vaccine were purchased and distributed across the Regional Health Authority network. He said preliminary reports from the National Epidemiology Database showed that 2,370 doses of the vaccine were administered between November and December 2019.
The Ministry has made several available the flu vaccine free of cost in the public health system to high-risk members of the population, including healthcare workers, children and the elderly with chronic illnesses, pregnant women, individuals who are institutionalized or in state care, and non-health frontline workers.
Minister Tufton confirmed that 2 strains of the flu are currently circulating in Jamaica: Influenza A H3N2 and Influenza A H1N1 Pandemic 09. There were also 6 reported deaths from the Influenza A H1N1 Pandemic 09 strain between January and June last year.
I wish to take this opportunity to implore persons who fall in the high-risk groups to ensure that they are vaccinated against the flu. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, I encourage private healthcare providers to procure the influenza vaccine through private distributors in order to provide for the general population.
Influenza is a viral infection that spreads easily from person to person, mainly by coughing, sneezing, and poor hand hygiene. Gender Minister Olivia Grange is pleading with persons involved in situations of conflict to utilize the helplines set up by her ministry to eliminate gender-based violence. Minister Grange made the plea yesterday in the House of Representatives while condemning the recent murders of 3 women allegedly by their former partners. Male victims are being urged to contact 876-553-0387, while female victims may call 876-553-0372. Minister Grange says government has continued to pursue legislative solutions for enhanced security measures and will intensify the No Excuse for Abuse public education campaign.
Through these initiatives, the Gender Division continues to work closely with the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
The minister is also encouraging the public to utilize the domestic violence intervention centers provided by the Jamaica Constabulary Force. These centers offer professional counseling, referrals to appropriate agencies, follow-ups with clients, and credible and reliable information. Persons may contact the Domestic Violence Intervention I-Care Centers at Constant Spring, 876-702-5120 or 876-702-5121, Matilda's Corner, 876-978-6003, or any police station across the island. In the meantime, the Ministry of Gender will be rolling out an €8 million initiative to end gender-based violence on the island. The Spotlight Initiative country program is being funded by the European Union. Initial projects will be rolled out in St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Kingston, Clarendon, Westmoreland, and St. Thomas.
Representatives from our Gender Advisory Council have already met with the local representatives from UN Country Team, including UN Women, United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and the United Nations Development Program, UNDP.
Minister Grange was speaking during the opening ceremony for the Women's Voice and Leadership Program, America's Workshop in Kingston Tuesday.
It is time for us to stop labeling gender-based violence as a man and woman affair. It is a horrific crime that we all have a role in bringing to an end. And so by our intervention, we will save lives.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Last year for the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries was marked by a significant push to improve all the sectors, a move to sow efforts and reap rewards. The soundtrack we dropped earlier was just a taste, but here's the full record.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, under the leadership of Ministers Audley Shaw, J.C. Hutchinson and Floyd Green, made many strides this past year to enhance all the sectors. Let's take a look back at the eventful year they've had.
Drip irrigation systems, that has got to be a big part of the solution of the climate change environment and the drought conditions that we are facing today.
£35 million is being spent by the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund on a 4-year irrigation project to benefit over 700 farmers in Manchester and St. Elizabeth. Another £20 million was set aside for small farmers in Clarendon and St. Catherine. And growers in Bull Savannah and Southfield, St. Elizabeth received 150 acres of drip irrigation equipment valued at $69 million.
Flaggerman has the most registered farmers in any community in Jamaica.
Back in September, raging fires destroyed 200 acres of land in the St. Elizabeth community, displacing 47 farmers. The ministry spent almost $50 million providing relief supplies.
We are providing over 30 truckloads of guinea grass for mulching. And if you look around, you will see that our farmers have already put the guinea grass to use.
The Essex Valley Agricultural Development Projects not only facilitated irrigation and infrastructure upgrades this past year. 700 farmers also received Global Gap certification, which indicates that their produce are healthy and safe for consumption. Registered farmers under the mango irradiation program are now reaping success since the start of the mango exports to the United States.
East Indian and Julie mangoes. Some 12,000 pounds of mangoes at that time, representing 800 boxes, were shipped to the United States.
The dairy industry continues to grow, especially with the addition of 2 silage packing machines at the Bodles Research Station.
We believe that we'll be able to stem production losses, particularly in the dry season. All Jamaicans want is an opportunity to grow.
Employment within the BPO sector continued to grow last year, especially with the opening of Ibex Business Process Outsourcing's new location in New Kingston. The sector is almost at 40,000 persons.
The government has been strident in its commitment to improving our competitiveness, recognizing that this is pivotal to our social and economic growth.
As such, the Jamaica Trade Information Portal was launched under the tagline, Trade Information at Your Fingertips.
The Trade Information Portal will bring export and import related regulatory information and step-by-step guidance on a single platform, ultimately driving our collective economic growth.
Up to $350,000 in loans are now available to farmers. This became possible through a MOU signed between RADA, the community and workers of Jamaica Cooperative Credit Union.
These loans must not be treated in any flippant way. They must be treated with great responsibility, right? Jamaica was chosen to be a part of the International Phytomedicine and Medicinal Institute with the technology and research of Harvard and the science of all herbs will take plant-based medicine and extracts to a new dimension.
The first draft of an import and export regulation for marijuana was completed.
We have also engaged a legal consultant to commence drafting instructions to inform the timely preparation of hemp regulations, as it is very important that regulatory framework is in place to enable marijuana and specific strains of hemp, that is high CBD strains, to coexist as we consider the protection of both industries quite important.
July 8th saw the signing of a tripartite agreement to implement a cannabis pilot program in Accompong, St. Elizabeth.
We are putting together a system for those who want to become formally involved in the growing of medicinal cannabis.
Since the signing, farmers have planted and reaped cannabis for medicinal use. The ministry has taken a big step in the right direction to enhance the fisheries sector. $20 million was allocated to procure surveillance equipment and enforce activities to regulate fishing in Jamaican waters.
The strategy is simply to use the vessel monitoring system technology to have 24/7 information of who is legally out there and where they are. So when we see a number of vessels via radar or satellite imagery, we can tell who should be there and who should not be there, and where they are.
Meanwhile, Jamaicans are now reaping the benefits of the MOU that was signed in 2017, which facilitates the export of aquatic products to China. In August, the country exported its first ever shipment of 2,000 live lobsters to Shenzhen, China.
We have found a market in China where they want the lobsters live. Okay, they want the market the lobsters live. So we get a chance now to, instead of shipping lobster tails, we get to ship the lobster alive.
A protocol was also signed in 2019, which will govern the export of frozen lobster. This has been the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries 2019 year in review. Join us on Thursday, January 16, 2020 for a look back at all the top achievements coming out of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology.
Interventions such as these are directly in line with the Government of Jamaica's strategy for delivering sustainable economic growth.
Don't miss it. That's the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology's 2019 year in review on Thursday, January 16, 2020.
After the reaping is over, our local produce are making their ways to dining tables and hotel kitchens. Alex is helping to provide that link between your backyard and the hotel industry. Here's how.
Many times we have so many things that we can't sell. We have, because sometimes all the farmers goes out and plant Irish potatoes, and it's too much. So what we do, we just use the phone, same place in the field, get to them, and they try everything, and they. I know before them, we only have spoilage. We can't sell. So no matter how it glut in the whole highland, they find a way to unload it.
Bye-bye farm produce glut. Alex is here to move farmers' produce onto the plates of visitors to our shores.
The Agri-linkages Exchange Center, good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Willis. How are you doing? Okay. So what do you have reaping now?
We have a portion of corn ready, you know.
Is that sweet corn? Okay, sir. Let me just add that to the database for you. How much corn are you reaping?
We have 12 dozen corn ready, you know.
What's the selling price? 120 per dozen?
So you can look the buyer for me anytime you're ready. You hear, boss?
Another problem, Mr. Willis. I'll post the information for you, and once the market is available, I'll give you a call and let you know. Mr. Willis, thanks for calling.
As easy as that, farmers are reaping economic benefits through tourism. The Agri-linkages Exchange is an electronic platform where buyers and sellers of agricultural produce meet. Currently, there are agri-brokers who manage the platform. They operate from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, St. Andrew office. It's a collaboration between the Ministries of Tourism and Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. The center has raked in more than $50 million in sales for approximately 400 farmers across the country.
This program is dedicated specifically to the farmers, and what we were trying to solve was the fact that a number of our hotel, especially our hotel purchasing personnel, had difficulty getting produce that was in season, out of season, or even where they were located. So you'll find that particular fruits that will be in abundance in the eastern end of the island never ever gets to the west, and vice versa. For example, mangoes. Mangoes are very abundant in the east. And again, the West would love to have some of the fruits that we have in abundance at one place. So the Agri-linkages Exchange platforms would have been a link to ensure that both buyers and sellers meet. At this point, we have 55 hotels on it. We have several agro-processors. We have about 5 retail operators, but the retail are really large personnel. And each day is another day in which persons are added.
I was at a production and marketing meeting in my community where we were discussing gluten, where we can unload our produce. So one of the RADA extension officer recommend us to Alex. I just get my phone, get registered, and that's it. Since Alex, we have more in demand than supply. It's been so good for us, trust me.
There are farmers who might not be technologically savvy to actually go on the system themselves, so they'll call into the center and ask, and these agro-brokers will be able to put them on the system.
On a daily basis, I would say we get from maybe 20 calls per day or so from farmers. A lot of the calls that we do get, surprisingly, are farmers who are new to agriculture. They are curious about what Alex is about. Persons are now realizing that technology, agriculture, and production can all mix.
We supply and deliver produce, fruits, vegetables to hotels and restaurants. It's about 10 hotels that we supply on a weekly basis. Hotels that we supply, it's from small to large hotels. We found out about the Alex Center through a farmer. It is a very good initiative.
On a daily basis, we probably make contact with 20-30 buyers on behalf of our farmers, and they themselves, the buyers do call the center. Buyers request varied amount of quantity produced depending on what the usage is. If it's for agro-processing or export, the volumes will range from as small as a small agro-processor may need 80 pounds of sorrel or 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds, but then you have an exporter who will need 10,000 pounds of sweet potato, 15,000 pounds of pumpkin, 20,000 pounds of other produce. So the volumes vary depending on the usage. We walk with the farmers and we stay with them until the transaction is completed, until they're paid, until the goods are delivered.
Our hotels are interested in buying local produce. There's really no substitute for the produce that we actually produce here. If you were to import any of our grown provision, it wouldn't taste the same. And therefore, there's really no incentive for the hotels to be purchasing overseas. What we have not had from our local industry is exactly where it is and in what quantities. And Alex has been able to solve that mischief somewhat.
It's simple, man. Just get the phone or come down to the road where the office is, register with Alex, and that's it.
Now here's a fun little fact about food. Just because it's edible doesn't mean it's good for your body. How much do you know about the foods you consume, or even the nutrients that your body needs? Here are some of the answers to those questions.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
With the government's drive of planting more trees, we're encouraging you to get into the habit of backyard farming and grow your own food. Now, here's why. Number one, more fresh fruits and vegetables. Backyard farms are usually manageable, and you have more control over the quality of food produced. Number two, you decide when to harvest your food. The truth is, some store-bought vegetables or fruits might have been picked a tad bit early. Let's take, for example, the common one, ackee. Besides, vegetables that ripen have more nutrients. Number three, it supplements your budget. Having a backyard garden reduces your expenditure on food. And added to this, you are sure about the quality of your goods. And number four is good exercise. Digging, pulling weeds, and planting are physical activities that can help burn calories. Now, if you haven't started doing your little backyard farming, at least think about it. The more you plant is the more you're helping to shape Jamaica into the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and of course, do business. We now turn to the closing page, but it has been a filling 30 minutes with you, and tomorrow promises even more. Until then, visit the JIS website or our YouTube channel, and also keep up with us on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Take care, and remember to eat healthy.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.